If you followed me for some time, you know how much I love and how much I adore the X90 Pro Plus. I've used that device ever since I had it. I covered CES 2022 and CES 2023, with the exception of a X90 Pro Plus that I borrowed at the same time. But I love Vivo optics and I love what Vivo's been doing for quite some time now when it comes down to their video and, of course, processing power that they have in there, especially with the brand new V2 chip. So I was super excited to get my hands on the brand new X90 Pro Plus and, of course, use it for CES 2023. And now we have the global edition of the X90, which means we still have that 1-inch type sensor built in here and, of course, the Dimensity 9200 powering this entire beautiful phone. And, of course, well, camera, actually, I should really be specific. This is truly a photography step forward, and I feel like it's a new bar set for 2023, specifically for the global market. This is TK, and I've had this device literally for about a day now, and I'm definitely going to be sharing more in the future. But let's go ahead and talk about all of the things I'm excited about the brand new X90 Pro. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. This is the package itself. The X90 Pro Plus comes, and it does actually come with a case. It's a nice see-through case. I will say that I know the Chinese variant comes with a color matching case, which I know I've seen, and there's also a different color of this for the Chinese market. Internationally or globally, the X90 is going to have two different colors, and the X90 Pro will be releasing in black, at least to this day. It does have that nice faux leather in the back, very nice material. Definitely a big upgrade from, at least for me, from the X70 Pro Plus. So I've been rocking the S70 Pro Plus literally for a good part of last year. So again, I borrowed it from my buddy and I actually was able to get to keep it after a while, and it's definitely been a champ. And again, literally the best camera I've been able to use as my B-roll camera for quite some time. Otherwise, we have the charging brick in the box here. This is the UK style charging brick. It's 120 watt charging, and that's going to be a little bit faster than what we see with the X90 Pro Plus, which is definitely very nice. A USB-C to C cable that's also included in the box, so everything you need pretty much is there. The device, the extra case to protect it right out of the box, and of course the charger that is quite a bit faster. Again, 120 watts is super crazy good. Now, I do want to talk about the fact that this device is going to really set the standard for the global market when it comes to photography, because we're not talking about high megapixels. We're talking about the type of pixels or the type of sensor that we're using. That 1-inch type sensor that we have on the back. First, I'll say that this is my first 1-inch type sensor on a smartphone. Also the first Dimensity 9200 device, and also first device that was sent to me by Vivo to be able to check out and give my thoughts on. So thank you to Vivo, and of course thanks to MediaTek for providing the technology to power this device from a processing level. We still have the V2 processor, the advanced V2 processing from Vivo, so there's some extra custom things that are done there that again came down from the X90 Pro Plus, which I had an opportunity to use and cover CES from. So the main sensor that we have in here is the 50 megapixel IMX989. It's a 1-inch type sensor with OIS at f-stop 1.75, which is really nice. We have a 50 megapixel portrait lens as well at f1.6, that's the IMX758, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and that's going to be at f2.0, that's the IMX 663 if I'm not mistaken. But overall, the front-facing camera that we have in here is a 32 megapixel camera, and of course we have Zeiss technology built in through and through in this device. That's the biggest thing that you'll notice. Obviously, Zeiss optics is right there. The T coating here on the back as well. So not only is it from the technology, but also the coating on the glass in the back. And of course, we have the LED flash. We do have wireless charging, as you can expect. The battery that we have in here is a 4870 milliampere battery. So an almost 5000 milliampere battery, supported with the 120 watt charger that's dual cell charging, meaning that the battery itself is split into two and charges simultaneously to give us that fast charging. And last thing, of course, is that wireless charging is going to be at a roughly maximum of 50 watt fast charging in the back. So really nice, very good. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage as far as the configuration that I have on this device. And of course, it is running FunTouch OS 13 based on Android 13. Again, powered by the Dimensity 9200. It's a flagship platform from MediaTek, and super excited to get a lot of firsts for me on this device. And as you can see here, FunTouch OS, Android 13, the ViVO V2 chip, of course, for the co-processing. Now the clock speed is running at 3.05 gigahertz, and it is the Dimensity 9200. 12 gigs of RAM with an 8 gig expansion using the internal storage, so roughly almost about 20 gigabytes of usable RAM. Android 13, of course, 256 gigs of internal storage. No expandable storage, but we do have dual SIM card options on this. Gestures, functionality, Google Feed on the left. This is again not a full review. I've had the device literally about a day and a half. Let's swipe back. A lot of good things, a lot of good options available here. Now, one thing that did strike me that was surprising about this device is out of the box it's set to be at 2400 by 1080p. So that's the 1080p resolution that you normally get. But it does actually go up to 2800 by 1260. Not necessarily QHD, but definitely a higher resolution. And it obviously gives us the ability of using the higher refresh rate on this, and you're able to go all the way up to 120 or keep it in the smart setting. The smart setting essentially allows the system to manage it, but if you'd like to push it all the way, this is definitely going to do the job very nicely. And the fact that we have really fast charging, this gives us the ability of enjoying all of this and not have to worry about the battery. Either wired charging or wireless charging are present here on the ViVO X90. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys are interested to find out what does the 9200, the Dimensity 9200 score on a Geekbench. This is primarily for reference, and I was running this on gaming mode, so 1381 single core and 4307 on the multi-core. That's going to be good, kind of like a good reference point of basically where does this comparable sit. This is pretty much smack comparison to what we get with the 8 Gen 2. This is the MediaTek flagship for 2023, and of course, we're not going to be disappointed, but I still haven't spent enough time for it to be able to be my end-all be-all review of this. I did actually end up shooting real quick yesterday, a quick video, well, 2 days ago when I got it, of the Edge unboxing. That's what I was using it. So if you do get a chance to check out that one, I put it as a short as well as a reel, and you'll definitely be surprised as to the quality of how that 1-inch sensor kind of runs on the back. Camera settings overall, pretty much standard what we expect. We have Zeiss mode built in, we have portrait for the lens itself. Of course, we have macro with the ultra wide. We have nighttime, we have sport mode. This is also low light sport mode. Video will support 4K 60 and 8K 24 frames per second all the way in the back. And on the front facing camera, 1080p 60 frames per second, I think is going to be the best resolution that we have. I wish we had 4K 60, but again, we're definitely going to be living in that 1-inch sensor in the back. Pro mode, very nice. We have RAW, of course. We have Zeiss mode as well. We have a few other options. Super mood, which was definitely nice. I'll share with you guys that image that I just took. Zeiss launch here, basically miniature option, double exposure, AI group portrait, live video, AI stickers, a whole bunch of options, and of course, high resolution to be able to take full resolution images as well as Ultra HD document if you want to be able to use that. But I will say this much, I haven't had a lot of time to spend with this. Let's go ahead and do a quick sample of the front-facing camera and the back-facing camera video on the ViVO X90 Pro. We're going to start off with the front-facing camera here. Again, 1080p 60 frames per second is going to be the maximum resolution. And we're shooting this inside with a lot of lights in the background because I want to see how the video processing is done. This is a good example of what the X90 Pro can do on the front-facing camera, handheld, at 1080p 60 frames per second. Let's go ahead and switch over to 4K 60 frames per second on that beautiful 1-inch sensor on the back. Switching it over to the main sensor on the back, that primary 50 megapixel 1-inch type sensor, 4K 60 frames per second, I feel like will be that sweet spot. I've been using that with the X70 Pro Plus, so I'm looking forward to seeing how does it actually perform on the X70, well, the X90. I need to stop saying X70 because the new guy is in the house. But overall, what we're getting here essentially is a good sample of audio and video on that main sensor on the back, shooting at 4K 60 frames per second. There's a lot of things that were kept over from the X90 Pro Plus over to the X90. Now, I've spent more time with the X90 Pro Plus, although I only spent about a day and a half worth of time with that. And that's because I just got this device literally a day and a half ago. I came back home from another event on Wednesday and the device was delivered. So what I will say though is within the first day or so of using it, and of course setting it up and testing out some of the capabilities in there, gaming obviously is not going to be a problem. I got a chance to basically install Call of Duty Mobile, played some games there. Overall performance is able to go all the way up to 90 frames per second, which is definitely very appreciative. Because in the past, we've seen much more of a conservative approach to gaming on some of these devices where we see a 60 frames per second cap. So 90 frames per second is definitely a very nice, and I definitely enjoy that, especially with a fast-paced game, kind of like Call of Duty. So overall, I am at the beginning of my testing of the X90 Pro, but I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of a, I guess, a little bit of a thought of why I'm excited about this device and why I was super surprised to find it waiting for me coming back when I was out of town. The overall experience that we're going to get in here is a global edition. This is obviously running FunTouch OS, so the optimizations and things if you've used ViVO before are definitely going to be here with Android 13. That's going to help us there. We do have video output, a really nice display resolution that can go all the way up to 120 frames per second, great sounding speakers, and of course that camera that's going to set the bar for 2023, at least for the global market. And you always need to remember, it's not the number of megapixels that are on the camera that make a camera great. It's the type of sensor, it's the type of pixels that you're using. And of course, we're seeing more 1-inch type sensors, at least in 2023, and this is a really good start. The X90 and the X90 Pro Plus will feature that. The X90 Pro Plus, at least as of right now, is not coming to the international market. The X90 Pro is, and I'm definitely excited for that. So Let me know in the comments below. Please leave me comments of what you would like me to focus on as I'm doing my testing with this. Again, I've had it for about a day and I want to have a little bit more time before I put together an actual review for you guys. And the focus of the review obviously is going to be that camera, that 1-inch type sensor on the back. This is TK. Thank you very much to ViVO. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.